Well, it's another absolutely beautiful day here in Nevada, just northwest of Las Vegas, out on the BLM land. The high today is 64 degrees. It's supposed to be sunny all day. It's even supposed to be pretty nice up in the mountains where I'm gonna go hiking. And yeah, I just feel very fortunate to be in such amazing weather in December. But that is one of the amazing things about this lifestyle, living on the road, traveling. I can go wherever I want, whenever I want. And so, yeah, wherever the weather's nice, that's where I can go. Oh yeah, went with bacon, eggs over easy, and hash browns for breakfast today. Got the hash browns all slathered in ketchup, and I tried something new cooking these hash browns. Instead of using butter or like vegetable oil to fry them in, I just left all the bacon grease in. And so, yeah, I've just fried it in that bacon grease. And so I hope they turned out pretty good. They look and smell very good though. Oh yeah, yeah, that is perfect. And I made a nice big breakfast today because Sweetie and I are going on a hike up in the Spring Mountains today. So, you know, I wanted to fuel up before that. No, this is my breakfast. My batteries are only sitting at 48% state of charge, but with it being sunny today, that's no problem. I can just leave my inverter on so it powers my Starlink, so I actually have internet out here. And I'm gonna be adding a perk for channel members here on YouTube and for patrons on Patreon, and that is I'm gonna be giving you guys GPS coordinates of all of the places that I camp at with a little bit of a description, like, you know, how hard is it to get in? Do you need high clearance? You know, road conditions, stuff like that. How level it is, just a short description so you have an idea of what you're getting into, you know, as well as all the drone footage and stuff that I film in those areas. You should be able to know whether or not you can camp there. And I think that'll be a good perk to give you guys because, you know, I don't camp in campgrounds. I just find a place out in the middle of nowhere. And so there's no information on where I'm camping. I just find that site myself, hunting around, driving around, or, you know, just searching around. So yeah, if you guys are interested in, yeah, being able to have the coordinates and the description of all the places I stay at, then yeah, you could become a channel member here on YouTube or a patron on Patreon. I've got a little breakfast treat for the rabbits here. It's like a dried oats and millet and fruit. They love it. Something I recently got that I wanted to show you guys is this HCALORY compact toolbox diesel heater. And the reason I got this is because I've gotten a ton of comments from you guys telling me about diesel heaters and their benefits. And so, you know, these are just so cheap. This is only like $180 and you can sometimes find them on sale for even cheaper on Amazon. And so I got this to play around with. And I also do actually go tent camping. I know I don't show that on video very much, but I do actually go tent camping. And so having something like this that's super light, super portable, you know, it's got the handle, it's extremely quick to set up and tear down. You know, you just have these band clamps for setting up the exhaust and for setting up the air intake, or I'm sorry, this is the exhaust for the actual heated air. You know, that's all it takes to set this thing up. I wanted to get one of these to be able to see how they work in a tent camping situation. I could set something like this up in my RV too. It'd be pretty easy. All I would have to do is drill out a hole for the exhaust port to go out, and you know, then the exhaust and the muffler would just stick outside. And also what's really cool is, you know, it can be fully controlled with this remote right here, and powered off of either DC or AC. And so yeah, you just have a ton of options with something like this. Heating with diesel fuel is actually more efficient than heating with propane, and that's what has interested me the most about this. A gallon of diesel fuel has 135,000 BTUs, whereas a gallon of propane only has about 91,000. But where I'm at, a gallon of propane and a gallon of diesel cost about the same, where, you know, you're getting about 50% more heat out of diesel fuel. And so, yeah, for all those reasons, I've just been interested in this, so I picked one up. And if you want to check it out too, I'll go ahead and drop a link in the video description below to this HCALORY Toolbox diesel heater also. It's pretty slick how compact this whole package is, and it heats up to 212 degrees Fahrenheit in 10 minutes and consumes as little as 0.04 gallons to 0.13 gallons per hour. So I'm leaving this campsite tomorrow and starting the cross-country trek back to Indiana to spend the holidays with my parents. And so before I do that, I've got some, you know, a couple things I need to do to this old truck just before, you know, we start that 2,000-mile journey. And the first thing is to replace this passenger's side mirror. The original one I actually broke off of the truck back in early October of this year while we were at that campground work camping. I was on a forest road and I got just too close to the one side and I smacked the side mirror on a tree and it just shattered it. And these powered extending side mirrors are really hard to find and they're super expensive. They were like $250, $300 a piece. And so I just sort of like jerry-rigged a mirror on there. And my buddy James actually ended up sending me this side mirror that he found at a junkyard to help get me by. Again, huge shout out to James for doing that. I really appreciate it. But I actually have been able to find a set locally for only $80 for both of them, and they're in really good condition. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this on because these mirrors are just better in every way than this mirror, but I still really appreciate you, James, for helping me get by until I was able to find a set of these. I only paid $80 for both, which is an incredible price. And so yeah, I'm gonna put this passenger side one on and then sell the driver's one and probably come out on top. Well, this isn't gonna take me long at all. I basically just have to pop the door panel off, take the old mirror off, put the new one in, put the door panel back on. This only takes about 30 minutes. I've done this job before. I had to do it, obviously, to take the broken mirror off and put that temporary mirror on, and so I already know exactly what I need to do. That temporary mirror being manual was a bummer. These powered ones are just a lot more convenient, and also that other one just didn't have as good of a field of view as this one. Well, the new mirror is on, it extends out, it retracts back in, the mirror moves around just fine when I adjust it, and the lights on the turn signal even work. So yeah, this mirror was definitely worth the money. Super excited I was able to get a pair of them for 80 bucks. Yeah, that's just really awesome. And now I want to check the fluids on the truck because yeah, I'm going on a 2,000-mile trip across the country, and you know, this is it's an old truck. She's a 2004 with about 175,000 miles on this diesel engine, and so yeah, she does burn some fluids. So before long trips like this, I always check the oil, the transmission fluid, I check the coolant, and I also check the power steering fluid. And like I expected, she did actually end up needing a little bit of oil, so I topped her off with some diesel engine oil. Yeah, like I said, she's an old girl, and so yeah, she burns a little bit of oil between changes. And while I was working on the truck, Sweetie brought her volleyball up to me and was like, hey man, you've been paying enough attention to that truck, pay attention to me. So of course I had to stop and play with her for a little bit. And she, I don't know why, but she really loves to play soccer, where she paws at the ball like, I don't know, like I would imagine a dog playing soccer. And so, you know, she really likes it when I try to keep the ball away from her with my feet, and then, you know, I'll kick it up to her so she can catch it. And that's how we play right now. This is just her like favorite thing right now. Guys, I've got some pretty frustrating news. The hike that I wanted to go on and take you guys on with me is closed. It is called Echo Overlook, and it's a 4-mile in and out trail that climbs up about 1,000 feet in elevation up onto this large rock, and it gives an overlook of the entire just canyon that the Mount Charleston village is in. And I'm just so bummed because it looked so beautiful. Apparently they close all the trails that go up into the mountains at all from December to March here in the Spring Mountains. And yeah, it's what has me the most frustrated is that my All Trails app didn't tell me that. It told me that the trails on the other side of the Spring Mountains, the other large canyon area, it told me that those were closed. But it didn't tell me that any of the other trails near Mount Charleston were closed. And so, yeah, it's just a bummer because, you know, I brought Sweetie with me too, and I was ready for both of us to get a really nice workout, and Sweetie didn't get to go on the last adventure with me. And so, yeah, I'm just bummed that she can't do that. But I was bound and determined to still get some views for you guys. So I just pulled off onto the side of the road in an area that I could park in, even though all of the, you know, parking lots for the trailheads were closed. And I still put the drone up for you guys, and I was actually able to see the switchbacking trail that I would have gone hiking on. And I even, you know, put the drone right over the rock that trail takes you out on to kind of like show the view and, you know, see it for myself what I could have seen. So I'm gonna shut up now and let you guys enjoy the footage. It's truly amazing how much the land and vegetation changes in just 4,000 to 5,000 feet of elevation. I'm maybe 30 miles straight line distance away from my camp, if that, and at 3,500 feet, where it's nothing but scrub brush, some yucca plants, a little bit of cacti, but then 4,000, 5,000 feet up above that, the landscape changes into just lush forest. Juniper trees everywhere, massive Jeffrey and Ponderosa pines, and beautiful pinyon pines are just everywhere. And the town of Mount Charleston is incredibly beautiful too. I just love seeing these beautiful cabin-like homes on the side of these hills just being towered over by these amazing mountains. This would be a pretty awesome place to live. So with all this extra time I've got from, you know, not being able to go on this hike, I drove over to the other side of the Spring Mountain area to the, I believe it's the Lee Canyon area. So yeah, you've got like the Mount Charleston Canyon, and then a road connects the two. I think it's called the Lee Canyon area. I didn't research it, so I may be wrong, and I have no cell service here, so I can't even you know, check. But I drove over here and, you know, I just parked on a pull-off. There's the truck right there. And I got Sweetie with me, and I'm just letting her wander around, get her sniffs in. She loves just smelling everything and exploring. So yeah, we're gonna look around this area too. And the mountains on this side are freaking beautiful too. So here's some more drone footage for you guys. I'm bummed out that these trails are all closed, but you know, it's still super beautiful up here. And I'm really thankful that I was even able to come up here and see all of this and experience it. I have been up here before, but it wasn't to come up here and hike. And so yeah, I just didn't know that they closed these trails. But yeah, I'm happy I was able to come up here again because man, the spring mountains are just insanely beautiful. If you guys haven't been up here, next time you're near Las Vegas, yeah, just make the trip. It's totally worth it. I mean, look at these mountains. They're just so beautiful. I just love this type of forest so much. I love the mountains. I love the forest. It just gives me life. It gives me energy being up here. You know, the desert is great in the winter and all, but it just doesn't beat it. You just can't beat this. Right now, Sweetie and I are on the beginning of what's called the Lower Bristlecone Trail. It leads to the Upper Bristlecone Trail as well, and then a Bonanza Trail, I guess. And yeah, they're all closed, but you know, I'm just not ready to leave yet, even though there's not much more for me to do here. And so, yeah, I'm just kind of wandering around, checking out the mountains, and yeah, just letting Sweetie wander around too, get her sniffs in, and yeah, because she's been cooped up a little bit, so this is really good. But yeah, we're gonna wander around for just a little bit longer, eke out a little more time up in this majesty, and then I'll see you guys back at camp. Come on, pup. Good girl. Are you hungry? Are you hungry, Sweetie? Yeah, I thought so. Alright, let's get some dinner, pup. I'm going with leftovers for dinner tonight, and I'm cooking up the last little bit of the ground beef tacos that I made in the last video. They may have looked a little weird going into the skillet while they were cold, but that's because I cook with a lot of butter, and so that butter kind of just like congeals onto the veggies and the meat, but once it heats back up, it melts out, and oh, it's just so good. And I know those tortillas aren't filled nearly as much as I would have liked them to, but you know, I'm running out of leftovers. These are actually my last tortillas and the last little bit of my shredded cheese too. So it's probably a good thing that I'm leaving tomorrow because yeah, those are two like staples in my diet. I eat a ton of tortillas, I eat a ton of shredded cheese. And so yeah, running out of those, I need to make a stop at the grocery store. But I am so looking forward to eating these. Doesn't that look good? Oh man. I love this meal so much. The homemade taco seasoning, oh, it's delicious. But all I have to do before I call it a night is pack up the inside. You know, I gotta take all this stuff down and put it on the floor, secure it for travel tomorrow. I already broke down camp outside. Got the truck already hooked up to the trailer and everything. I did that before coming in and making dinner just because, you know, I was losing daylight, the sun was setting. And so I wanted to get the outside done before I completely lost all the light and it started to get really cold outside. And I always pack up the night before if I can for travel days, just because it makes the morning so much easier. I don't have to worry about waking up and doing all this stuff and losing time that I could be traveling, especially on a really big cross-country trip like I'm starting tomorrow. So I can just wake up early in the morning, take care of the pets and myself, hop in the truck and just get out of here. I also have some dishes that I need to do, and I want to take a shower tonight too. I just checked my water. I'm at 1/3 of a tank. My fresh tank is 54 gallons, so 1/3 brings me down to about 18 gallons, which is plenty for the pets and I for the trip. We only use about 2 gallons a day if we're just drinking, you know, if we're not doing any like dishes or showering or laundry, you know, those really like water intensive things. And so yeah, that's gonna be plenty for the 3-day trip it's gonna take. But I am going through higher elevations in New Mexico. And so I do have a 6-gallon water jug full that I'm keeping inside the trailer, because when I go through those higher elevations, the lows might be too cold and it might freeze the water in my fresh tank. And so I may end up needing to actually drain my fresh tank in this. And so yeah, I usually travel with a backup like that just in case. All right, that's enough talking, man. I gotta eat the rest of this. Good girl. All right, come on. Good girl. Here you go. Treat. Want a treat? Good girl. All right, everyone is all packed up, ready to go, ready to start this really long trip across the country. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, please consider subscribing. It would really help me out. What? Where do you think you're going? I really enjoyed this spot in Nevada, and you know, I'm sad to leave it, especially since it means that I'm going back to the Midwest in winter. And so yeah, it's gonna be, instead of warm and sunny, it's gonna be cold and rainy and snowy, but it's okay. I get to spend Christmas and New Year's with my parents, and so that's totally worth it. But my name's David, this is Sweetie, and this is Fate Unbound. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.